Dr. Lucelle here, and I've been asked this question about running the entire offense out of heavy. And the reason why is because over 80% of the time in high school, based on a 12-year study that I've done, you're going to get a single high safety. Paul Johnson always said that if they give you a single high safety, you want to bring somebody over from one side to the other to force the defense to declare who they really are. So heavy in high school is statistically pretty effective because of the amount of single high safety defenses that you get. So, and with the evolution of the dive, the kick, the trap, this is how you would run it. First of all, what heavy is you bring, if you're going heavy to the right, you bring the left tackle over 3.5 feet away from the right tackle and put his inside hand at the heels of the center. And he comes over. You have the receiver that lines up 4 yards from the sideline with his inside foot up. You have the A-back. He can move slightly outward and have his inside foot on the outside foot of the tackle at a depth of about 1 yard. You're going to bring the receiver in to be the backside tackle. Now, you're starting to see Army recruit a little bit bigger guy at receiver to play this spot. Same thing with Air Force. Navy, not so much. They still use receivers. In high school, I would use receivers only because, guys, let's be honest, offensive tackles in high school, the good ones in this offense are 150, 160. I mean, if you're at a bigger school, maybe you get to 175, 180, but so really it's no difference. You're trying to get your best 11 out there in high school, period. Because let's face it, if you're watching this video, you're fighting to have 11 players who can play. So you put the receiver here, he's down, his inside hands at the heels of the center, 3.5 feet away from the guard. The A-back's a yard behind him. And then nobody else changes. Now, how you would run the offense, how you would run it. First of all, the number one play in the offense right now is the zone dive. The zone dive is going to be run to the heavy side, and the reason for that is because you need the heavy tackle to basically block the second level backer, especially when they give you two inside backers. It gives you a better advantage than in double flex. You got to have the kick play, with the zone option, the kick play. If you don't get 4 yards on the dive, you run the kick. The beauty of that is you got the heavy tackle blocking down and the other tackle blocking down, and you're going to end up kicking the player over the heavy tackle, and quarterback's going to run up in between those blocks. The toss can be utilized, especially if they do 2-in-1 gap or they're blitzing or you don't get 4 yards on the kick because number two is shoving and closing the B-back. You can toss it outside. Although the toss is not a big play in 2020 by any stretch of the imagination. I'm going to be doing a video about that in a little bit. You want to run dive, kick, and toss to the three-man surface because you want this heavy tackle to build a wall in the C-gap to make him pay for it off that block. On the dive, you want him to be able to block the second play side inside backer. It makes it better than flex because you're using a tackle instead of a receiver to do that. So you've got the dive, the kick, and the toss. Whether, however you want to do it, that's how you do it, but you want it to a three-man surface. Now, to the two-man side. Now, first of all, you wouldn't run the ball away from heavy unless they gave you 4.5 to that side. Okay? And listen, I know there's a lot of you out there that go, well, they're always going to know we're running to the heavy side. Who cares? If they really cared, they would match your numbers. If they don't match your numbers, they don't care. That's a double negative. But the bottom line is, they're only going to show you how much they care if they match the numbers. As soon as they go 6.5 and 4.5, then you run to this side. Now, quick tip. This is why the trap is picking up in intensity, where the guard is trapping the first person from a two technique out. The reason for it is because if that player from a two technique out shoves and closes on the trap and tries to wrong arm it, then you know you can come back the next play and read him. If he comes straight up the field, you trap him and run up inside of that block. That's why the trap is so effective. So, to this side, you'll run the trap, and the bottom line is, if he wrong arms it, shoves, closes, and wrong arms it, then you know you can run the mid triple or the triple. The other thing you can do too is you can run the B-back toss, where you've got these three against the three perimeter people. And since they only have 4.5 out there, you're blocking 3 of the 4.5 with these 3 people, and you're tossing him the ball. So, the heavy offense, you bring the tackle over, split the receiver out, bring the receiver in to be the tackle. You can bump the A-back out more over here, because he's really not going to be, you really want him wider so you can load on the kick, get out on the toss, all that stuff. And then if they give you 4.5 to this side, which, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, most high school football programs do not put 4.5 away from the heavy side. It's usually 5, 5.5. They usually just slide over. Which, whatever. That's why you got to keep running to the heavy side the whole game. I know a school in Pennsylvania, they line up in heavy the whole game, and they run to the heavy side the whole game. And if they bring somebody over, then they start running triple to the 2-man surface, away from the heavy side. So, if they brought somebody over and there's 4.5 or less over here, that's when you run mid-triple, triple, B-back toss. You could run rocket. I would suggest moving him in. Really, I'd suggest moving him in if you're going to run mid-triple or triple as well. But the bottom line is you go heavy, you want to run dive, kick, and rocket to the 3-man surface, and you're going to keep doing that unless they give you 4.5 or less to the 2-man surface. If that's the case, then you run mid-triple, triple, B-back toss. You can run rocket toss as well. But that's how you'd run the heavy offense. But the whole goal, if you're going to take anything from this 7+ minute video, it's keep running to the heavy side unless they have 6.5 or more to the heavy side. And if they do that, then you go away from it. Don't worry about being predictable. Army, Navy, Air Force don't care, and their head coaches are all worth millions. So why would you care? Period. Coaches, you want to run Army, Navy, and Air Force's offense the right way the first time. Give me a call, 570-332-0265, 570-332-0265, and go to tripleoptionfootball.com/testimonials. You can see all the success stories that come out of the camps and the academies. I'll see you in the next video. Later.